What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Avengers 60th Anniversary 2-pack of Black Knight and Sersi. So this is a pretty cool pack where we get a Black Knight with a jacket on and stuff. So it's part of like a set of the Avengers where a lot of them were wearing like these brown leather jackets. So we've got Black Knight as well as Sersi of the Eternals. So she was with the Avengers as well. And again, wearing the jacket, so they kind of fit here well together. They both just look pretty cool. Love how the Black Knight has his like photon sword or whatever. So that's pretty cool, almost like a lightsaber. If we spin, we have our two characters on that side and from the comics on that side, and they were a couple, so that's why we have them here together. And you also see that in the MCU movies. And then we have our two characters on the back and the few accessories they'll come with there. So this just looks pretty cool. So an awesome 2-pack here to get two cool characters. So I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with the Black Knight, whose real name is Dane Whitman, and he inherited his uncle's castle, who had been the villainous Black Knight, and he came upon the ebony blade, and passing the blade's test, Dane decided to take the weapon and become a superhero that would go on to serve several times with the Avengers, where his scientific knowledge was useful. And it was during one of these times he became involved in a love triangle with Crystal of the Inhumans and Sersi of the Eternals, and he would pursue a relationship with Sersi, and they established a powerful psychic link to help her control her emotion when being affected by Mad Weary. So he doesn't really have a whole lot of powers. He's just known to be a gifted scientist and expert swordsman with magical knowledge, and he wears a protective armor of elven design that looks pretty cool. And we've had Black Knight before, just specifically with him and the Avengers. It's at the time in the early 90s when he was on the team that they wore like these brown bomber jackets all the time, so a lot of the characters have them, and we'll see that with Sersi and some of the other characters we have. But I think overall he looks pretty cool. So still looks like the Black Knight, much like the one we've had before. So looks pretty cool. So he's got the helmet on, the Black Knight helmet, and again with that old fairy with the multiple different heads that you could switch out. So if you wanted to switch up the look, you could, but this is, you know, the Dane Whitman version. So looks pretty good with like the dark bluish color, almost black, with the gold all the way around it. And the face he's making there reminds me a lot of Batman, especially like the Christian Bale Batman. So that's just kind of weird with like his teeth shown there and the look on his face and stuff. Just looks kind of cool. But I love how they added a little bit of like stubble there on his chin and stuff. So adds more to the look. And then he's got his Black Knight design underneath it. So he does have like the chainmail armor you can see there on his neck and especially down on his legs. And then he has the covering over the top. So he's got again that bluish outfit on with the red like raven or whatever there on his chest, and the same color with the gloves and boots. And like I said, more of that chainmail, little belt around the waist. And then of course that bomber jacket in this brown or tan color, whatever you want to call it. So that looks pretty cool as well. Nice design going all the way through there, and has the Avengers logo on the side, so showing they're part of the Avengers. So overall I think he looks pretty cool. It's kind of course I'd prefer just the normal look of Black Knight, but I do like this design with the bomber jacket. I think it looks pretty neat. But we'll do his movement, so his head can twist all the way around. Of course, got to worry about that color there of the jacket, and it can look down that far and up that far, so pretty good range of movement there in the head for him. The shoulders can come up to 90 and then can rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so pretty good, with the wrist that'll twist around and flex back and forth. And then we go to the ab crunch in the middle there, so and the cutout, so we can crunch forward, crunch back a little, hard because of the jacket, but can crunch a little back and forth and twist all the way around at the waist. Then the hips will come up to 90 and out to the side, thigh twist all the way around, a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, not far from kicking his butt, a shin twist there at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent movements. Now he does have pin joints, so not a new figure design or anything, but I don't know what they got like the jacket from and stuff, because that seems all new. So I figured with designing the arms of the jacket, at least they'd have the pinless joints on it, but overall seems to work out pretty good at least, so don't really have any issues with him. But for accessories, he comes with some additional hands, so we get a fist hand and a grip hand to go along with it. So already has a grip and a fist on there, so just the opposites. And then of course we get his weapon. So instead of using the ebony blade at this point, he was using the photon blade, which is almost like a lightsaber, so it looks pretty cool with the handle there. So it looks, you know, relatively similar to a lightsaber handle, and then it's just a light coming out, which is pretty cool, and it forms a blade there, so that looks pretty awesome. So let's go and put this in his hand. So there's Black Knight with the photon blade. That just looks really cool to me. Of course it looks a little bit off and weird, you know, with it's like lightsaber blade, him having the bomber jacket off and stuff, but it's just how they did the looks in the 90s. Of course it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it looks pretty cool. Love the design of this and just the weirdness of it as well. So I think overall I do really enjoy it. Like I said, it's not the best version, but I do really enjoy this. So awesome to have this. And of course we have our older Black Knight, so here's that version. I have it with the Dane Whitman head on there, so you can see what he looks like. And so body wise pretty much going to be exactly the same. They just switched out the stuff for the bomber jacket and everything. But overall, looks pretty good. He just has his ebony blade and stuff there. Overall, pretty cool to have that. So awesome to have the Avengers version of Black Knight. And in this pack, we also got Sersi, which of course is an Eternal, which are a race of genetically altered people created by the Celestials 1 million years ago to look after humanity. And she was known to be a flirtatious socializer that has been involved in many historic events and would join with the Avengers when her fellow Eternal Gilgamesh was injured and Captain America invited her to take his place on the team. And she started to become more aggressive and murderous due to suffering from mad weary, which is just a mental breakdown caused by the Eternal's long lifespan. And it was decided for her to form a soul bond with the Black Knight to calm her troubled mind. So she has the eternal physiology, which gives them superhuman strength, near immortality, flight, telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, illusions, cosmic energy projection, and matter transmutation. So she's got a long list of powers there. And overall, I think she looks pretty good. The figure I do have issues with because she does have, like, I wouldn't say the older body, so not the pinless joint. So it's really hard to get her to stand up even with a newer figure. So I've already having a lot of issues with this. I love how she has her Avengers outfit on with that 90s look where she's got the red, I'd say, like bikini design. So she has black there on her chest and switches over to the red running down her arms, and the knee-high boots with like the padding on the end of it. So that's pretty cool with black on the leggings there. And then she of course has the bomber jacket on as well. So that looks pretty nice there. So it's cool that she fits in with the rest of the team having the bomber jacket on. And then of course her head design, which her face, just looks like a normal female face. I don't really see anything too specific or stand out, just that red lipstick. And then she has the early 90s haircut there, so it looks pretty nice with like shorter hair on top going into the longer hair in the back and the black and all poofed up and everything. So I think that looks really good. So like I said, I like this figure a lot. I just wish it was easier to get her to stand up. But we'll do her movements so her head can twist around. It may not be able to twist all the way around because of the color and everything. Yeah, I'm having a lot of issues. Can twist around there and then can look down that far and then up just about that far because of her hair in the back. So not too bad. Of course, you don't get to look up too far, but she does look up at least. So not too bad overall. The shoulders come up to 90 and rotate around. We get these single elbow joints that bend to 90 with the rotation, and the wrist will twist around and flex back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch right under her chest, so she'll crunch back and forth and twist around just a little. And then we get the hips that can come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, so isn't too bad. And then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So she's not horrible, but like I said, I wish she'd had the newer joints because the pinless joints on the females especially work out really good. So I wish she had them just so it'd be a much better figure. But what she's got isn't bad. Like I said, carries off the look. I just wish she could stand up better. But accessory wise, she comes with some additional hands. So we get fist hands for her. So we have some fists instead of like her open magic hands. But for those hands, we do get some of these ball effects. So for her energy projection stuff, we do have these ball effects that we can put onto her hands. So we haven't had these effects in a while, so I didn't know exactly how they work. So I just left the hand she had on and found slots where they would fit onto her hands. But I do also see they have a hole like right in here. It's kind of like the size or shape of a fist. So if we switch the fist out, we could then probably just easily slide them on there. But I kind of want to have her hands open like she's doing her powers and stuff. So you just have to choose between the two, whatever you want. But like I said, you can leave the open hands on and get them to stick on the hands there and they don't fall off too easily or anything. So it works out. So really cool to have Sersi. And of course, with the story and stuff, with her and Black Knight being in a relationship and stuff, it makes sense why we got them here together and all that. But with having both of those now, we can bring in some of the Avengers that were on the team at the same time as them in the early 90s. So there's some of the other characters we have that were on the Avengers at the same time as Black Knight and Sersi, with Captain America, Vision, Hercules, and Black Widow. So I like having these because, like, especially with the Black Widow, she got the same sort of jacket design as Sersi, but hers even has the A on it, where Sersi's didn't, which I was quite surprised. I figured they'd use the exact same jacket and stuff, so they kind of all fit together there with the jacket style, and just shows other characters relatively similar designs to what they had at that point in time. So very cool to have Black Knight and Sersi now to add in with these other Avenger characters and just to our shelf in general. So very awesome to have them with our collection. So let me know what you thought of them down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.